He is remembered as stone, cold, immovable, a face carved into mountains and memory. But stone does not feel the weight of loss. Stone does not sit awake at night replaying the sound of footsteps that will never return. Abraham Lincoln did not begin as a symbol. He began as a boy standing beside a grave he did not understand yet, watching his mother disappear into the ground and feeling something inside him fracture quietly and permanently. That fracture never healed. It only learned how to hide. Long before the presidency, before the war, before the speeches, loneliness entered his life without asking permission. His childhood was not merely poor. It was isolated, remote, quiet in a way that forces a mind inward. When his mother died, something essential vanished with her. Not just comfort, direction, safety. People who knew him later in life said that he spoke of her rarely, but when he did, his voice changed. That loss followed him like a shadow. It was the beginning of a lifelong familiarity with grief. As he grew older, that sadness did not fade, it deepened. Friends noticed it. They called it melancholy. Not sadness that comes and goes, but a heavy stillness that settled inside him for weeks, sometimes months. During these periods, he would withdraw. He would stop eating, stop speaking, stop moving with purpose. At his lowest moments, those around him feared he might harm himself. They watched him closely. They stayed near. They understood, even if they could not name it, that his mind was a dangerous place when left alone too long. And yet, paradoxically, he was funny, witty, disarmingly humorous. But his humor was not light-hearted. It was deliberate, strategic, a survival tool. He used jokes the way some people use armor. When laughter filled the room, the darkness stayed quiet. When the room went silent, the thoughts returned. He once said that if he could not laugh, he would die. This was not exaggeration. It was confession. Lincoln did not believe he was special. He did not believe greatness was owed to him. He failed repeatedly. Business failures, political defeats, public ridicule. He was mocked for his appearance, his voice, his awkwardness. He looked wrong to people who expected authority to look polished and commanding. He spoke slowly, thought deeply, hesitated openly. These traits made him an outsider, and outsiders are always alone, even in crowds. But he kept reading, constantly. Law books, philosophy, history, scripture. He was building something inside himself quietly. Not ambition, understanding. He was trying to understand people, why they hurt each other, why they feared change, why they clung to cruelty even when it destroyed them. This inward gaze made him thoughtful, but it also separated him. Most people do not want to look too closely at human nature. Lincoln could not stop. When he entered national politics, the loneliness intensified. The country was fragile, divided, angry, and he stood at the center of it, deeply aware that whatever he did would be wrong to someone. Every decision split loyalties. Every word was dissected. He carried criticism without defense, not because he did not feel it, but because responding would have required certainty he did not possess. He understood too well that the world was not simple enough for confident answers. Then came the presidency, and with it, isolation on a scale he had never known. The White House did not bring companionship. It magnified distance. He was surrounded by people, yet utterly alone. Advisors argued constantly. Generals disappointed him. Newspapers attacked him. Political allies abandoned him. And above all, the war consumed everything. It was not an abstraction to him. It was personal. Every casualty report felt like a personal indictment. He read the lists obsessively, thousands of names, each one a story ended. He visited hospitals quietly without announcement. He spoke to soldiers as equals. He listened. He touched their hands. He did not look away. He believed leadership required proximity to suffering. That belief deepened his isolation. Few leaders willingly sit with pain that cannot be fixed. His marriage offered no refuge. Mary Todd Lincoln was intelligent, perceptive, and deeply wounded by her own losses. Their relationship was marked by volatility and misunderstanding. They loved each other, but love did not bring peace. When their son died during the presidency, inside the White House, Lincoln collapsed under the weight of it. Witnesses described him wandering the halls, inconsolable. The president of a fractured nation reduced to a grieving father with no private place to grieve. The war aged him rapidly. Photographs taken just years apart show a man hollowed out by responsibility. His eyes grew sunken, his posture bent. The weight of command was etched into his face. He did not escape into detachment, he did not numb himself, he stayed present. And presence, when paired with empathy, is exhausting. What made Lincoln most alone was not opposition. It was empathy. He did not see enemies easily. He saw human beings shaped by fear, history, and circumstance. Even as the war intensified, he spoke of reconciliation. He resisted calls for vengeance. He believed punishment would poison the peace. This position angered many. People wanted blood. He wanted healing. Standing between justice and mercy is a lonely place to stand. When he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, he knew it would cost him dearly, politically, personally, physically. He delayed not out of cowardice, but out of moral terror. He understood the consequences, and when he finally acted, he did so knowing it would deepen the war and mark him for death. He acted anyway. Not because it was safe, but because delay itself had become immoral. As victory approached, Lincoln did not celebrate. He mourned. His second inaugural address was not triumphant. It was sorrowful, reflective, humble. He spoke of shared guilt, shared suffering, shared responsibility. Few leaders speak honestly at the height of their power. Fewer still invite humility when vengeance would be easier. This honesty isolated him further. It confused allies, enraged enemies. And then, at the moment when the nation stood on the edge of healing, he was killed. Not in glory, not on a battlefield, but in a theater, seeking a brief moment of escape. His death froze him into legend. It erased the fragile, struggling man beneath the symbol. Monuments replaced memory, stone replaced flesh. But the truth remains. Abraham Lincoln was not lonely because he lacked people. He was lonely because he carried truths others could not bear. He was lonely because he felt deeply in a world that rewarded certainty. He was lonely because he refused to harden. He did not conquer his darkness, he learned to walk with it. He did not escape suffering, he transformed it into compassion. And perhaps that is why his legacy endures. Not because he was flawless, but because he remained human under unbearable weight. The question is not whether Lincoln was strong. The question is whether we still value leaders who are willing to feel, to doubt, and to stand alone when clarity is impossible. And whether, if faced with the same loneliness, we would emerge with our humanity intact.